Hey, Northern Ohio golfers, let's talk golf. Here is Luke Taylor, one of the most colorfully dressed golfers who spends his day living on the edges of bunkers in northeastern Ohio. It's the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience.
Hello and welcome to the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience. The dogs are barking, the fans are chatting, the golfers are grimacing because the winter is upon us in northeastern Ohio. But how do we make sunshine and happiness go? We bring in a legend of northeastern Ohio, Northern Ohio golf. He was part of probably one of the greatest high school golf teams of all time. Sorry, David Griffith, because you were not on the team. We got Ryan Armour, legend of Walsh, Ohio State, and the PGA Tour. Welcome to the Clubhouse Confidential, Ryan.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
That is a thorn in Griff's side. I try to bring that up. Well, I mean, you had a good high school golf team. I mean, let's be honest. Didn't all five guys go D1?
At some point, yes. Obviously, Padge was a year older than me. He went to Indiana. Andy Browse was my age. He went to Kent. Kevin Kinney was 2 years older than me. He played at Detroit. And then I'm trying to think other guys that were young. Rich Thomas went to Indiana, who was younger than me. Mm-hmm. So at some point, yes, we had a lot of players contributing that all played Division I golf.
Yeah. So you grew up in Silver Lake, which is obviously, I guess, Akron. I mean, it's Stowe, Silver Lake. You had a pretty darn good junior career. Well, how could you sum up your kind of Ohio junior career?
I mean, yes, I accomplished some goals that I really wanted to. I was able to go to school for free, and that was huge. I'm always kind of a little disappointed that I never won an Ohio Golf Association junior or an Ohio Golf Amateur Championship. But I was able to. It's kind of different now. I live down in South Florida, and these juniors play all the time.
It's crazy.
Year round, barely take any time off. When they're not playing, they're at the course. They're living the sport. And in Northeast Ohio, you know this, you don't live golf. You have seasons. And for me, I was blessed. From Easter to Halloween was golf season, and Halloween to Easter was basketball season. Mm-hmm. So it almost made me appreciate golf season more. Like I was hungry when I got out in April and May. And through high school, I played basically the 6 same national events. One, because I couldn't get anywhere. I mean, my parents both worked, and they would have had to take time off. And then I tried to stay local for the rest that I could get to easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you also came second in the U.S. Junior Amateur. You lost to some guy. I've never heard of him. Some guy named Tiger Woods. What was that like?
Well, he's been beating me my whole career, so that's fine. It kind of goes back to the year before. I lost in the quarterfinals to him in the 92 junior in Boston, and he drummed me, and it really wasn't close. I think he beat me 7-6 in 18 holes. He was like 4 or 5 under, and I was a couple over. So I didn't feel like I played that bad, but that made me realize how much better I had to get to compete at a national level. And I put a lot of effort in that following spring. So that would have been spring of 93 after basketball ended to get better. And I just kind of got on a roll. I won the Buick up in Grand Blanc, Michigan, outside Flint. Beating Mickelson's record, and then that kind of got me going. I had a top 5 at Firestone at one of their national juniors, and then I had a top 5 at the Hudson Junior, I believe, or top 10 at the Hudson Junior. Mm-hmm. And so it just kind of momentum kept going, and then went out to Port. I was exempt into the junior. I didn't have to qualify for the junior because of finishing in the quarters the year before the national junior. Went out to Portland and beat Charles Howell in the semis. And then played Tiger in the afternoon, and it was a really unique experience because he was on the cover of everything, USA Today, Sports Illustrated. And back then, we didn't have iPhones and you didn't know everybody.
Right.
You only got it through your national publications like Golf Week, Golf World, and Sports Illustrated. And he was all over them all the time. And sure enough, there were probably 6,000 to 8,000 just following us on every hole. So it was a really cool experience. And what's funny is I wasn't nervous at all.
Really?
Yeah, I'm already in the finals. I'm playing against the guy who drummed me last year. I'm not supposed to win.
Did he say to you, "Hey, it's you again," and he kind of chuckled, or no?
We didn't talk the entire day. No.
Really?
No. Didn't talk the entire day. He had Jay Brunza, I believe is his name, on the bag for him, who was his sports psychologist for a long time. Really nice man. And he was in his own world. He didn't do much socializing. Barely ever said nice shot. It was just the way he was back then. Now he's totally different.
But that's how he was for years, right? When he was dominating, It's like I saw him at the Bridgestone a couple times, and it's like he would smile and he'd nod, but it was never anything like, he was like, I'm gonna kick everybody's butt. That was his mantra.
He was there to do a job, get it done, and leave.
Yeah.
And
he did okay.
Kind of the way it went. Yeah, he did all right.
He did all right. So tell me about, like, what were some of the golf courses you remember growing up playing?
Well, obviously, I grew up at Silver Lake.
Great track.
Fortunate enough to be a member there. And, my wife and I joke about it all the time, like what a great little childhood I had, because I never needed a ride anywhere. I just got on my bike, left my clubs in my dad's locker. I'd go to swim team in the morning, and then I'd practice, go back to the pool. And then at 3, juniors were allowed on the course. So at 3, I would play till dark. Then I'd ride my bike home and then rinse and repeat the next day. So I was lucky. And then at age 12, we were allowed to start caddying. And so I kind of lived at the golf course in the summers, which was, I couldn't think of anything better at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other courses you remember playing or you enjoyed playing?
And then, Don Padgett II was the GM at Firestone when I was playing at Walsh with Don 3. And I was fortunate enough, when I was 17, he offered me a chance to play and practice out of there for the next, 6 or 7 years, which was instrumental in me improving, just playing championship golf courses. And especially for me, I wasn't the longest hitter in the world. So it taught me to, zero in on some long iron game and being able to hit fairways, because I wasn't strong enough to get it out of the rough. Yeah. And then the back 9 at Kirtland always sticks out to me. Way on the far east side of Cleveland there. And I'm lucky that my instructor, Jason Carbone, is now at Canterbury. So I'm there quite a bit. And, there's just, Northeast Ohio is so blessed. Actually, the whole state of Ohio is so blessed. There's so many good golf courses. And, my brother is a public golf course junkie, runs a lot of skins games. So I've been fortunate enough to play some good public golf with him too. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, that's one of the reasons my daughter plays tournaments, with Griff's Association, and they do a really good job. And you play some really good private, but you play some awesome public courses. Right. And I think people don't understand, like, especially if you're so used to, like, you played at Silver Lake, and you played tournaments, so you saw them. But if you just play the same course over and over, it's amazing. And we have a lot of, like, even like famous golfers. Like, we've got Pete Dye courses, we have Donald Ross courses, we have, Mill Creek out in Youngstown, Donald Ross. And I don't think people understand Stanley Thompson. So, I think that's pretty interesting. So was it always destined for you to go to Ohio State?
In hindsight, probably. Coach Brown kind of came after me early and often. But it came down to the wire. I really wanted to go to Stanford. But Tiger ended up going there. And Wally Goodwin. Goodwin, who's a Hudson native, who was the coach at the time at Stanford. And he was honest with me. He's like, listen, I have one full ride. I really think we can get Tiger. If he doesn't come here, it's yours.
Wow.
And, you know, he called me about a week before signing day and said, Tiger's coming. So you're more than welcome to come and walk on as a freshman, and then I'll scholarship you sophomore, junior, senior. And that kind of just eliminated it. And I'm like, now I want to go where I'm wanted, and, you know, they're going to give me the money to go there.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
But my heart was always with Ohio State. I mean, I'm an Ohio kid.
Wait, did you say Kent? Did you say Kent State?
That was a hard one. My father is a Kent graduate. And I love Herb Page. I think Herb Page is one of the great men in golf, and doesn't get enough credit for what he's done outside of Northeast Ohio.
Yeah.
He took a program that basically didn't have much, and he built it into nationally respected, you know, actually internationally respected with all the Canadians he gets there. So he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was potential you might have gone to Kent State.
Yeah. Yeah. He was trying to package me, Todd Lancaster, and Randy Lean together and all come in the same class. And we kind of all split up, and Randy went to Indiana. Todd ended up going to Kent, and I went to Ohio State.
God, can you imagine that team? You, Johnny Mills, and Ben Curtis.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been well. I mean, it's kind of like what it is now with who they have now. I mean, Corey Connors,
Pendy,
Taylor
Mac
Pendrith,
Hughes,
and Mac Hughes. Yeah. So
Pendy and Corey are members at the course I'm a member at down here, so I see them quite a bit.
Do you give them a little bit of a rub? You give them a little bit of heat about Ohio State?
No, because they know I like Herbie. So we don't mess with it.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. So, been on the tour for a little bit, huh? It's been pretty good to you.
It's it's been ups and downs, that's for sure. But golf's given me more than anything I could have imagined. It's been, what am I, 48? So it's been 21 years of playing either the Korn Ferry or the PGA Tour now.
Yeah. The Hooters, the web.com, the Korn
that was
Ferry.
all before that. The Hooters and the Golden Bear, and it was called the DP Tour. Jack Slocum, Heath Slocum's father, started a tour in the Southeast, like in the panhandle of Florida and Atlanta, that area. And I mean, I went down there for a year and a half and played that. And I mean, I was all over. I just got in my car and went.
Yeah. So you've won one PGA tournament, which is phenomenal itself. Like, could you got a better trophy? you got a cock rooster, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's pretty awesome. You got to admit,
it goes down as probably the best trophy in golf, other than the claret jug. If you could get a claret jug, I think that would be the iconic one. But
just wait a second. Did you have to pay for the trophy? Because you have to pay for the claret jug.
No.
Yeah.
No,
so there you go.
They keep one at Country Club of Jackson, and then you get a replica. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's down on my wife's desk right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. What do your boys think of it? That trophy? Because I mean, it's kind of an iconic trophy, the Sanderson Farm Championship.
It is. It was funny. You know how you get like pop-ups from Facebook? This happened 7 or 8 years ago or whatever. So that happened. My wife had that Sunday happened to be Halloween in our neighborhood that year, 7 years ago. So my wife has all these pictures, and Halloween in the old neighborhood we used to live in was mammoth. It was a huge production. So she's got all these pictures of 30, 40 people at the house watching the end of the golf, getting ready to trick or treat. And they keep popping up on Facebook when it's that time. So it's pretty cool to remember.
Yeah. So what is the goal now? 48 years old, you've been on the tour. Like you said, you've had an up and down career, but overall successful. I mean, anytime you can play that long professionally and play a game that everybody would love to play, I mean, you've obviously done well. I guess what's the goal? Because it's kind of like that. Once you get like 38, 40, you're kind of in that in between, right? We've heard that from
Yeah,
multiple pros, whether currently on the tour or off tour. I mean, is your goal to play the seniors, the Champions Tour at 50?
it is. So next year, I will play some PGA Tour events, but mostly I'll play Corn Ferry. I have full status Corn Ferry too. As a 49-year-old, I withheld an exemption that I carried over until I was 49. So that
Okay.
way I could have a full year of playing competitively to get ready for, I have to go to finals of Q School for the Champions Tour next fall.
Really? Okay.
Even though I'm 49, my birthday's in February, so I can go as a 49-year-old because my birthday is pre-June 1.
Okay.
So that'll try and get me ready and mainly stay healthy. I've had a really tough year this year with health. So I've been trying to get in the gym more and just protect all the areas that need protecting by, building up the muscle around it.
Yeah.
So if I stay healthy, I played with Mark Calcavecchia last Wednesday. No,
Okay.
Yeah, last Wednesday. And, he was saying, the biggest thing to do when you hit 50 is you got to hit the ground running. Be healthy on your 50th birthday so that way you can go as fast as you can, because from 50 to about 56 is when you're going to be your healthiest. And he said most guys break down at like age 56 where they have no speed left, their nerves are shot and all that. So he's like, go make hay in those first 6 years. So try and stay as healthy as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. So will you play any PGA Tour events then?
If I get in, it'll be either Monday in the sum or sponsor exemption, or maybe some opposite field ones.
Okay.
Like the Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic.
Right.
It has been a really strange year access wise on the PGA Tour.
Why?
So they changed. So we went from a wraparound schedule to a calendar year schedule this year.
Okay.
And with the signature events, the way they're allocated, the majority of the membership has built-in weeks off now. So they will play 3 in a row, then they'll have 2 weeks off because of the signature events. Then they'll play 3 in a row, then have 2 weeks off because of the signature events. So they're playing more of the full field events that they normally wouldn't play. So, guys, I was just out of top 150 last year, which would have given me conditional status. So I fell into what's called past champion veteran member category.
Okay.
And I only got in 2 events on my number, which prior years I would have got in 14 to 18, which this year is what I planned on. I kind of planned on playing, really reducing my schedule load this year anyway, because of transportation issues with my kids' sports. I mean, it's insane with the travel hockey schedule and the travel basketball schedule. So, and I really wanted to be, this was kind of my last year I could be around for all their stuff. And I had missed so much in the past, traveling 30 weeks a year, that I really wanted to be a part of it.
So it's funny because I always thought the Champions Tour, it's kind of like the last hurrah. Guys don't really take it as serious. But I went to dinner a couple years ago with Mike Weir, fellow Canadian, and what have you, and his girlfriend Michelle was in town or came in and stuff, and the 4 of us, my wife and I, we went out to dinner, and it's like he's just the same as when he was playing the PGA Tour, and they all are. Like, you see these guys. I mean, this is like ultra serious for them.
Yeah, say you have 90 exempt players out there. I bet you 65 to 70 of them take it ultra serious, like you said. And then you have 20 who probably don't. But I mean, you see how hard.
So like John Daly, and who are the other 19?
I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. But you see all the stuff on social, like how hard Padraig's working, and I mean, there's a reason that he continues to compete at a high level.
Yeah, just wait, Ryan. VJ Singh is still hitting balls.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Sun up to sundown. I
I
don't know
mean,
how he has a body left.
isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Like you see that stuff on show, like his workouts with a medicine ball and just, I mean, it's crazy to me. Or like Bernard Longer. I mean, you saw him doing well in like PGA events, a couple he got in. I mean, he's still competing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I heard Bernhard doesn't go anywhere without his stretch bands. That's all he's doing, stretching constantly.
really, that's crazy. I want to go back to just two more things. I want to go back to something that you said about the youth in golf.
Uh-huh.
You know, you're saying how much golf they're playing. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because, you know, I had a previous show with Ben Curtis and he played basketball in high school. Jimmy Walker, I think, played basketball in high school. There was someone else that was like played baseball. What is your kind of thought on the whole like golf 24/7 with these younger players?
I mean, do I think it's healthy? No. Is it productive for them? It might be. I mean, it's kind of the road we're going down with every sport all of a sudden. You know,
Yeah.
we have this culture that it's impressed upon them that they have to specialize at a young age. I disagree with that. You know,
But that's a lot of sports. That's not just golf.
No. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I see it all the time. You know, we have this 4-star at my kid's high school that's going to Florida State. Well, he's going to graduate early so he can go enroll and start training already. And here he was a starter on the basketball team last year. So he's going to just skip his senior season of basketball so he can just go work out at Florida State. And I don't know. Are you losing friendships? Are you lifelong bonds that can be made through the brotherhood of sports? And I don't have a right or wrong answer for that. In my personal opinion, I would love to get back to, we work on our craft half a year and then we move on to a different craft for half a year. I think the 3-sport athlete's almost too much unless you're just so naturally gifted at something that you don't need to work at it. But
Thanks for the compliment.
Pardon me?
Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I think, 2 sports, you can somehow figure out a way to do it. And, my one child who I would love to play another sport it's hockey nonstop. And we're just trying to fit in a flag football season instead of just putting the skates away.
Yeah.
And so the month of April is when we basically say, no, you're not getting on skates the entire month. Just to get them away from it.
You know what you could do is you go to the ice rink and you turn off all the electricity and unplug the generator.
Drain the pond. Yeah.
Sorry, son. The ice has melted. But it is crazy. I mean, you see it in all sports, and whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, football's the one you just literally can't play tackle football all year. But soccer, golf, tennis, it's like I've had conversations with the people. I said, hey, do you want me to bring up some people that I know that were like some of the best players in the world in juniors and last on the pro tour for about 6 months? I mean, you just get burnt out. So we do this section. It's called the par 5. We're going to ask you 5 questions. It's brought to you by nobody. So if anybody wants to sponsor that section, they're more than welcome to. So it's real simple, real easy, very serious. So let me ask you this. It's going to make you think a little bit. What is the most amount of putts you've ever had on a hole?
That I can remember?
Yes.
I 5-putted the 18th hole in New Zealand one year. It was blowing 40 to 50 miles an hour, and I could not get it in the hole from 3 feet. I just kept playing ping pong back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. People, I love how people that you can remember. That's funny.
I went from like 6th to 28th. It was a costly 5-putt. I can tell you that.
That's not good. That's not good.
No.
Least favorite sand trap.
16 PGA West.
Really? How many did it take to get out of there?
I've only been in it once, and it only took me one, but I didn't get it up and down. It sits something obscene, like 65 feet below green level. It's obscene. If you look it up, you'll know it's a par 5. So
You need a ladder
you'll
to
see
get in
it
there?
left
You
of the
need,
green.
oh my
Pardon me?
God. You need a ladder to get in and out of it?
You do. They have steps. They have steps.
Forget that. All right. What's your favorite snack food on the golf course?
Favorite? Probably Uncrustables.
Ooh.
What I eat most are more like bananas and almonds.
Yeah. Uncrustables, huh? But don't they
Mhm.
melt?
Well, you bring them frozen.
I like. You see, you're from northeastern Ohio when you talk about Smucker's Uncrustables. We have a couple friends that work at Smucker's. They're like, "Yeah, if your kids ever want Uncrustables," I'm like, "No, we're good." The boys love Uncrustables. What are some of your favorite golf courses that come to your head just right away? Don't even think about it. Just name me some of your favorite golf courses.
A 1A and 1B are Cypress Point and Pebble Beach,
Okay.
and they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Pebble obviously is known by everybody because it's on TV all the time, but Cypress is so unique. Never really played a golf course like it. It's almost 3 different 6-hole golf courses.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. One tournament you wish you won.
Open Championship.
Okay. Any specific course?
No,
Just an open championship.
just an Open. I've
That's
only played in
crazy.
it once, and I thought it was the greatest event I've ever played. And I just think they do it right. They don't it's not gimmicky. It's not. They don't
It's traditional.
manufacture.
It's
Yeah, they don't
traditional.
manufacture made for TV pairings. They don't do all that stuff. They just, all right, if the weather's nice, you're going to tear up this golf course. If it's not, it's going to tear you apart. So
Yeah.
go get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And it starts with the English accent on the first hole, when they introduced you. It's just kind of the
So I got
history
to
and the
tell you a
pageant.
story. Where I played Carnoustie in 18. Okay.
Mhm.
And the first hole is a benign par 4, and it was playing. I think I was hitting 3-iron, 9-iron off the tee Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday during my practice rounds. Wind flipped, and I hit 3-wood 6-iron. I mean, total wind change, temperature drop, all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Now here it comes.
That was the only golf course. So I was over there last year with two brother-in-laws and a buddy, and we played the old course. We played Kings Barnes. We played
Yeah.
Turnberry. We played all these courses, right? Royal Troon. We're gonna play Carnoustie. We got there, and it was so foggy. They're like, "Well, you got to wait." So we putted. We had lunch or breakfast in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we ran into some members, and they said they quit after the 12th hole. They couldn't even see like 3 feet in front of them. And it's just crazy because, it was perfectly fine the whole week, except for that one day. And it just,
One day.
and I've played courses where the front 9 and the back 9, the weather just completely flips.
Yeah.
It's just different. So, but, so the last thing I want to ask you about is you were recently inducted into the Ohio Golf Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I guess, what does that mean to you, even though you're still currently playing?
So it's funny you bring that up. That's the hardest thing for me. I was inducted into my high school Hall of Fame and couldn't be there because I had a tournament. I've been inducted to the Summit County Hall of Fame, and I haven't gone yet because my schedule just doesn't allow it to get there. And this year, I happened to get the call from Matt Lefferts, who's running the OGA now, and he told me it was in September, and I was like, I need to do this. I need to go. It's a big deal to that association who has done so much for the state of Ohio and junior golf and amateur golf. And so I went, and I didn't know what to expect, and it was a really, really classy event, and I was really happy to go. But on your point about, I guess I've had a really hard time with any awards because I'm not done. I feel like the script isn't fully written yet, and I would like to accept these awards when I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done playing. Now I can talk about everything freely and, actually kind of go out on a limb and say some stuff that I probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can always return them and just say, hey, can we wait about 5 or 10 years?
Right.
You know, just get you. I mean, we can uninduct you. Which one you want to be an uninducted? Walsh? You know,
No.
County, what you want?
No, I'm okay.
Well, I won't induct you yet to the Clubhouse Confidential, but no, Ryan, we really appreciate it. You're going to stick on with us one more second. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this part of the Clubhouse Confidential. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We're actually going to go talk to now Brian Tolnar from Mill Creek. We're going to talk about great ideas. You can get that special someone when it comes to golf for the holidays.
You are listening to the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience.
All right, so we are live in Bay, I think, 4 of the new Mill Creek Indoor Development Center. Is that what it's called?
Yep, Mill Creek Indoor Player Development Center.
Yeah.
You can work on your game, get fitted for clubs, hit balls,
Nice.
play and practice.
Nice. So we got Brian Tolnar, right?
Yes,
I said it right?
correct.
Did I say it
Spot on.
right? Okay.
Spot
Just
on.
want to make sure. He is the head, I guess you're the man here.
PGA Director of Golf, yes.
PGA Director of Golf. Okay. So, and you have been here since Donald Ross built these courses in the 20s.
Some days it feels like it for sure, but only been here for 10 seasons now. Really enjoying myself, and along the way we've got to make some tremendous improvements to the golf course, the facilities, and super excited about how far we've come in the past 10.
Yeah. And I was telling you before we started that I've had the pure pleasure of walking here. You guys host a lot of great tournaments, both high school and juniors and seniors too. So, I don't think people understand that Ohio has Donald Ross golf courses. And the beautiful thing about it is 2 of them are public in northeastern Ohio, which is Manakiki, which should be called Manakiki Hills, and the 2 courses here at Mill Creek.
Absolutely. We're fortunate to have Donald Ross come in 26, opened our golf course in 1928, the North Course, and then he came back in 28, 29 to design the South Course, and we're fortunate to have him here twice, which is unusual to have him come back to the same location and property 2 times.
Yeah, he obviously liked it. But so we had Ryan Armour, who you probably know. I mean, pretty good golfer.
Great golfer.
Pretty good golfer. He does have the best trophy. It's a rooster or cock, that's what people call it. So it's iconic. But no, he's phenomenal. Great golfer. Great for the game. Great for Northern Ohio golf. So you have been named, I believe, the 2021 PGA National Merchandiser of the Year.
Yes.
Yes, it's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Did you get a pay raise?
No.
Okay, that's whatever.
I wish, but I'll tell you what, we got a good team that works together, and we're fortunate to have the crew that we do, and to be able to accomplish what we've done in a short period of time. Super excited about that. It's great for our facility, the notoriety for our facilities.
And 5 times PGA Sectional Merchandise of the Year.
Got a couple.
Public. Yes, that's great. So what's happening? So this is Wednesday, the week of Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving. We're going to get fat, and we're going to eat, and we're going to watch football and college basketball and all this other stuff. But also a thing that happens on Friday is called Black Friday.
Yep.
So why not talk to the people that know something about merchandise? And let's talk about, now, do you still believe in Santa Claus?
I do.
I do. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Got a 10-year-old at home, you have to.
Well, that's the age where they're kind of like, I hope he's not listening to this, but like my 11-year-old told my 9-year-old, who's my 15-year-old daughter's in the car too, said that Santa's not real. And I'm like, yes, it is. Santa's real. So let's talk about some great gifts for the golfer.
I think we've got a myriad of stuff, and like most places, we're going to have a huge Black Friday sale. We do a 12 days of Christmas sale in December, along with a big sale, which is basically our blowout sale to freshen up the shop with the new product coming in January, February. But with that, we've got a lot of great products, ranging from clothing to shoes to accessories to pretty much accommodate golfers and both non-golfers alike.
Yeah. So let's talk. I mean, we got a ton of stuff. We got club head warmers right here. We've got Youngstown State.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the Penguins.
Home of the Penguins.
The Penguins. Do you know why it's called the Penguins?
Because it's cold up here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. These are really cool. I love these. What are they, like money bags?
Valuables pouch, Lynx and King, they come out with a valuables pouch, some leather garments, and football. It's been very popular. We have that with the Youngstown State logo and both our logo here at the Metro Parks as well.
That's cool.
But been very popular. Like I said, we've got stuff for golfers and non-golfers alike, ranging from there to go into belts.
You got belts.
We found a nice company in Florida at the PGA show about 6-7 years ago called C4 Belts. They basically make a custom lifetime guarantee belt made in the USA in Arizona.
Nice.
Ironically, the president of their company is from Boardman, Ohio, which is right in our backyard here. So we do a number of belts, which you can see here. If you're an Ohio State fan, we've got you covered.
Yeah, sorry.
So we got the pinstriping on the helmet for Ohio State. We've got some Mill Creek belts as well. They're cut to size.
These are multi-purpose if you have kids.
Absolutely. And we've got some YSU belts as well. But the theory behind those is they're cut to size, so they're a one size fits all, made in the USA, and lifetime guarantee. They were actually an equestrian company that jumped into the golf business about 6-7 years ago. So
those are cool.
A lot of the jockeys and riders use the C4 belt line. So it was one of those small finds in the back corner of the PGA show. We were looking for belts, and they kind of fit our need, and they customize anything that you want. So we've had a lot of high school teams and collegiate teams have their
what is the minimum if you wanted to do custom?
And any number that you want.
You can do one.
You could do one if you wanted to. Absolutely.
Wow. I'm gonna make two belts. I'm gonna make one for you, one for me. It's just gonna be my head on it with the Clubhouse Confidential logo. But that's awesome. That's really cool. And if you wear it, you feel like a jockey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like winning the Kentucky
I'm like
Derby.
10 times the size of the average jockey, both height and girth and weight. Golf balls. I see golf balls on there.
Golf balls, we have some of the new stuff, the Callaway Chrome Tour X and the Callaway Chrome Tour. If you're familiar with their Chrome softball, this is just part of that family. So it just gives you a little bit different look for higher swing speed. So this one, the X ball,
Are you
have
a
little
Callaway
bit higher
guy?
swing speeds. I play a little bit of everything, like Callaway, like Bridgestone.
Okay.
Was a sales rep with Bridgestone for a couple years up in New York.
Okay.
So part of my life is in that realm. So big on golf balls and the technology
And they matter.
force behind them. And they do matter.
Yeah, we had Trent
Absolutely.
Maxwell, who's your obviously colleague and somewhat competitor. I mean, you're in different areas and stuff like that.
Trent's a very good friend.
Yeah, great dude. And we talked about the importance of golf balls. And he said, every golf ball is good. And I said, what about Vice? And he did not answer the question. I didn't say noodle. Or what was the Pinnacled Gold?
The Pinnacle Gold, the Top Flight Hot XL.
Yeah, the Pinnacle Gold weighed like literally 500 pounds. You always find those, but golf balls really do matter.
They do, and it depends on the player, the club head speed that they can generate, the spin that they can put on the ball around the greens. You want to have that softness around the greens, but you want to have something that's firm off the tee so you're getting your maximum distance. So, making sure that you have the right golf ball for your club head speed is very important.
Yep, and you got some wedges, you've got hoodies, you've got toques. That's a toque. You know what a toque is? A toque is when they have the ball on the top. That's a Canadian tradition, yeah. That's nice.
That's a little YSU.
Yeah.
We're big into promoting the Youngstown State University here, so you'll see a lot of
Do they ever
merchandise
play out
with that.
here?
They do. We host two of their events. We host the Roseanne Schwartz Invitational in September, and a month prior to that, we host their kickoff classic when all the kids come back to school.
Nice.
So
Both men and women's, or just
both men and women?
That's
yes.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
they
they've
both
got a
play
pretty
out
good
here.
program, don't they?
They do. The ladies program's won several titles in the Horizon League. A little bit more fortunate than men's, but men's have had a great history. The past 20-30 years with Coach Tony Joy, who's been there for seems like forever, like back when I was in high school.
Yeah, and I think that's called longevity, which definitely helps build a program. I see golf shoes. I see a cutting board.
So a couple of the other things that we carry that are a little bit different.
Yeah, bring out the cutting board. Let's see that. Dude, that looks heavy. You need some help?
As you can see, it's nice and light. So we have a
Nice and
charcuterie
light.
board
Oh, yeah, that's
with our
nice.
logo, and this is something that we do. We do corporate logos on these as well. So it's got a nice finish to it. Very, very heavy, as you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is a Capé Designs charcuterie board, very popular in the pro shop.
Yeah. You know what? If I would have known that, I would have brought some meats and cheeses. I love to make charcuterie boards.
We could have had it. And then we've got, going back to the golfers, the traditional shoes. This is a triple boa. So you've got the support for your heel, you got support for the mid part of your feet. So this one fits better than a glove, but to your foot.
Yeah, it feels like someone's walking on the moon with that thing, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what, you want traction and stability and control with your lower body and your golf swing. This is the shoe for you.
Really?
A little bit more of a premium product, having the triple bow in there, but it's been a popular one for us. And like I said, you want some stability when it comes to your feet.
Yeah.
In the golf swing, good balance is good.
What do you think about stuff like the perfect putter or anything like those types of things, like more like training aids?
Training aids are good. A fan of stuff that helps the golfer and is not gimmicky. So anything that, like a putter, for example, anything that gets your shoulders moving, your arms and your shoulders, and eliminates the hand movement and wrist movement, I think are important. So you've got some equipment out there that's good for that. Some other stuff may be a little bit gimmicky, but stuff that really helps the golfer impact balls, which we have here in the Bay when we do a lot of teaching, keeps you connected with your arms and your shoulders when you're making that turn in the backswing. So I think there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah. What about gift certificates to Mill Creek?
So one of the unique things about Mill Creek is when you buy a gift certificate, it's good for our 18-hole golf courses. It's good for merchandise in the pro shop. It's good for our boathouses on the property of the Metro Parks, our par 3 golf course, batting cages, rec center, and programming as well. So we have a myriad of things that you can use gift certificates to, buyable here in the pro shop and at any of our retail locations. We have a team shop down the road at our par 3 course that we just opened with the new rec center here probably about 2-3 months ago. So, having that in every sporting activity, we offer the equipment that goes along with it. So if it's deck hockey, if it's baseball, soccer, volleyball, flag football, we have you covered here at the Metro Parks.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's to talk about merchandise and what have you. I remember like 25 years ago when I got into golf, I'll be honest, the clothing for men and women is catching up, but it's still a little bit behind because I hear about it from a teenage daughter that plays golf. But it wasn't very colorful. It was very, and as you can tell, I like color. I'm trying to think if I've got like blue under there, but kind of a nice teal blue. I like color. And I think I might be more colorful than Jimmy Hamlin just because I'm probably twice his size. Well, at least weight. So there's more of me to see. It's amazing the amount of golf brands there are now. Isn't it crazy?
You go to the PGA show and you go into the soft goods, which is your shirts, your hats, your pants, your shorts, and all of that. It's amazing to see how that's doubled in size from when I got in the golf industry in the late 90s. So between there to now, the materials are a lot better. They breathe a lot better. They're a lot cooler. There's a lot more variety in color instead of your standard cotton navy, white, and black, and red shirts. Now you've got pretty much every color underneath the sun. So I think it's important, from the fashion end of it. And the ladies, have been catching up a little bit, but they've, tended to be a year or two behind where the men's are. Very conservative. Yeah. But I think the variety that's out there now is greater now than any time in the golf industry in the past 30 years.
And it's interesting. So if and the cuts are a little bit differently too. I always find that, when someone once bought me a Peter Millar shirt and that was like a crop top for me, are some a little bit more form fitting than others? Like I always find like Titleist FootJoy are for the big boys.
Right. Yeah, I think you have to look into that now. When it comes to shoes, very different. I was always a 10D or 10 medium back in the day. Now I'm different with every vendor because everybody's size and styles are a little bit different. Same way with the clothes. I mean, you get into a brand, if it's what they call a European cut, it's going to be shorter in the arms. It's going to be a lot tighter, a lot more form-fitting.
European schmedium.
Schmedium, exactly. But you got to be careful with what vendors you wear because I'll wear mediums in some vendors, I'll wear larges in others. Traditionally a large shirt, but mediums in Donna Ross that I have on now. So it runs a little bit bigger than others. So you are right, some do run a little bit smaller, some like the FootJoy run a lot bigger.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm getting to is shop local, right? I mean, that's the big thing because at least you can guide the right person. If there's a mistake, you guys keep a nice pro shop. I think some pro shops locally, in the northern Ohio, maybe don't. If you're going to commit to it, you got to commit to it. I feel like you guys have obviously committed to it. Windmill Golf Club and the golf center have, a couple others. But I feel like you go to some and it's like, well, why would I buy it here? I like it.
Right.
But I'm like, I'll just go online. So
I think having it, and we're fortunate to be at a place that does 90 1,000 plus rounds, having 36 holes, and we also have a par 3 golf course that's 18 holes down the street. So we have a lot of foot traffic. So we're fortunate to be able to bring them
90,000?
90,000 rounds between leagues and golf outings. We do about 80 golf outings a year. In addition to all the tournaments and the,
When do you have tea time openings?
It's in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's in between leagues. Basically from 3 to about 6:30 is all leagues. We got 44 leagues in that window, which is crazy. I've got a senior league that plays on Wednesdays and Fridays. They're 128, 130 golfers plus annually. You've got ladies leagues that are in the mornings as well. So that mid-level 10 to 1 o'clock where you can make the turn before the league start at 3 is the ideal time, and then any time after 6:30. But our weekend play is busy. We do a lot of stay and play packages as well. So we're bringing folks in from Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania is
Where do
big
they
here.
stay?
They'll stay. We've got partnerships with 9 hotels just outside the doors here within 9-10 miles. So we have a lot of that. And what we found, even with that traffic, is those folks are on vacation, so you spend differently when you're on vacation. Your buying habits are completely different. It's money's no object. I'm bringing home my wife something. I'm bringing my kids something. So we've had a lot of luck with that. But I think the general amount of play has given us the ability to be successful down in the pro shop when it comes to merchandising.
Especially if you're doing the stay and play. I mean, I've played all over the place. I'm not bragging by any means, but and all over the world, golf trips and what have you. And it's amazing. You go to some of these golf trips, you want to buy something. I mean,
Right.
how many more polos do I need or
Yep.
stuff like that? But you want to buy something, and there's like nothing.
Yep.
Or you go to like Pinehurst, and it's like if you can't find anything in Pinehurst,
Right.
you've got some serious issues. But I think it's imperative that if you're doing stay and play, because here's the thing, you buy a belt, one of these bags, even the football, whatever it is, it's free promotion.
100%.
It's free advertising
Yep.
for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things too. We give everybody that comes here, stay and play, kind of our guest patrons, if you will, they get a bag tag as part of that. So if they
Nice.
have 20 guys, we give out 20 bag tags. Because again, that's advertising. When you go back to Canada, you go back to New York, to Michigan. Hey, where's that out? We'd like to hear about that. And then when they figure out the prices, that you can basically stay and play an unlimited amount of golf here for under $300.
Wow.
I mean, it's very inexpensive, and that's where the add-ons, where the head covers and the sweatshirts and the hoodies and the hats, come into play, because you've spent a lower amount of money on a vacation or a weekend getaway. Now you can afford to spend a couple $100 on logo items, or Youngstown State, or Cleveland Browns, or Pittsburgh Penguins, or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't say Pittsburgh Steelers. That's smart. You're smart. You're a smart.
Although my
man.
son's a Steelers fan, I don't know how. I'm a Browns fan. My wife's a Bills fan, so our
I
house
like
is
your
all
wife.
chopped
I'm
up.
a Bills fan by birth,
like
and
it.
still love them, and they're good. I just, the Browns hurt me.
I wish
They
we had
hurt me.
Josh Allen.
Well,
Wanted him.
Who would have thought?
Exactly.
Who would have thought? I mean, that's crazy. But couple things. I don't think people understand how close this is, and a quick, like if you live in Akron, it took me an hour exactly from
Yep.
Fairlawn to here, door to door. Cleveland, a little bit shorter, depending on where you live in
Right.
Cleveland. Why not go for a nice short getaway? We're actually, the following week, we've got Mr. Raber from the Penn Ohio Golf Trail.
Yep.
So, it's kind of like, you want to do a quick trip. You don't want to play the same municipal course, the same
Right.
country club. Why not just take a quick trip? Because there's really good food in Youngstown, too.
Oh,
I know
absolutely.
I know Station Square.
Yep, Station
Yeah,
Square,
yeah.
MVR. There's a lot of great local Italian places here. So it's a great place for day trips. And when you guys do the Penn Ohio Golf Trail, we're actually on that. We share booth space with them
Good.
in Michigan and Rochester and Pittsburgh and all of that. So
Good.
they're very active in helping us promote the area. So you'll have a great interview with those guys. But again,
Yep.
it's a great place, whether you're coming from Pittsburgh, Cleveland, the Akron-Canton area. You can get here pretty quick. You can play around to golf in probably half the time that it would be if you did that in your home. And that's what we get with a lot of stay and plays and day trips with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Guys can play here faster and drive back and forth than to play at their home area.
Yeah.
And there's not too many public courses down that way either. So, we've had a good showing and a good following from outside 30 miles, 50 miles.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me actually one thing quickly, and then tell me about this facility we're in. And then I'll let you be. So is there a group, if I wanted to do some content, get some interviews during the golf season, is there one league in particular you would steer me toward that I might get some juicy stuff with? I know you know them all.
We got a lot of characters, probably Wednesday and Thursday nights here. You can pick any of the leagues.
Okay.
There are a lot of great guys that have been golfing here for a number of years. We also have the YMCA league that plays on Tuesdays. It's the oldest league in the state of Ohio.
God, that seems aggressive.
So, I mean, we have pretty much everything under the sun, with younger to older to guys that have played here.
They don't dress up like the village people, do they?
I've got guys that have played here for over 70 years.
Oh shit!
Believe it or not.
Do they know Donald Ross?
They probably do. They're probably pretty close to him when they were designing it. But yeah, I've got some guys in their mid 90s, 92, 96 that still walk and play 9 holes, 18 holes here. You can walk here anytime
No problem.
you want. No problem. Very flat.
I love it.
Flat.
It is.
Very easy to walk.
It is. I've walked a tournament here.
Yep.
I love it. It's a great course. I'm looking forward to playing it and being 90,001 rounds next year if you so have me. But talk about this facility. It's amazing how 6, 7, 8 years ago you might put a simulator in your basement.
Right.
You never really saw them, and now it's just an explosion of simulators in the last 6, 7 years, I would say. What I guess why did you do this, and tell me a little bit about it?
Okay. We started in 2015. I came on board in March, and part of the process was they had me put together a 10-year capital improvement plan. So early on, obviously the indoor center that you're in here that's got the putting green and the bays and all of that was part of that. Green restoration, bunker restoration, cart paths, the downstairs, the pro shop, and the restaurant. We've done some upgrades to a new cart fleet, you name it, new facade out front, leaderboards, etc. So all of that was part of this project. So originally this was going to hit in 2018-19 because we wanted to make golf a 12-month proposition here for everybody. So we wanted to be able to have the ability to keep the restaurant open 12 months as opposed to 9. Give golfers the opportunity to play and practice in the bays in the wintertime and work on their game. And a lot of high school teams, too, because we host about 9 high school programs here. Wow. Youngstown State comes in here and practices, both the men's and women's, from time to time as well. So we had the audience to do it, and however COVID hit, when the year we were supposed to do it.
You're not allowed to say that word on the show.
I don't even like the word myself.
Do you think it's worse? It's the 5-letter word is worse than the 4-letter word?
I don't know. They're both kind of the same. Yeah. They're one and the same.
Well, no one yells after a bad shot, COVID.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
But in the process itself, with designing this, obviously, it hits. The prices for everything go through the roof. Yeah. We had to wait 2 or 3 years before we could get this going. So 2 years ago, we started design and gutting out the indoor of the upstairs of this field house, which was a 1970s locker room with wood panels, some shag carpeting, the old yellow shower room and all that that had just sat dormant here for what seemed like 50 years. So basically wanted to turn this area into a profit center. Building this actually gave us the ability to do that. So we opened this in January of this year, January 8th, and we've been going ever since. So, and what we found with the indoor component is, how hot it was this summer when it was 95 degrees out. People didn't want to go out and hit balls on the driving range in the summer. They were coming in here with the AC, hitting them into the bay. So
that's when they scheduled all my daughter's golf tournaments. Were like 2 or 3 o'clock every time.
Exactly.
And it's like Pine Hills we played, and I'll never forget. It was the only time my daughter goes to me being right. It's like, Dad, you should get a cart for you and Mom. And my wife loves to walk too, and what have we enjoy it. And at the 9th hole, I'm like, I'm getting that cart. It was ridiculously hot.
It was hot.
Yeah,
we share the same pain because I have a 10-year-old, and that usually is like the last group that goes out.
Yeah.
Like at
They're even worse.
They're even later. So I understand the whole program.
You hear this, Griff? I know you listening. Well, now my daughter's going to go up to the 15 and 19, and they get some pretty good tee times.
Absolutely.
10 o'clock.
Same. 11, we flip into the 18 holes, so now we move up a little bit.
Yeah, it gets a little bit better.
But all good. But this was part of that process of getting this open, and now we're running indoor PGA Junior League in here. So we do that on Tuesdays. We have Campfield middle schools starting a program. So they have 73 kids out. So they're here on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Wow.
Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, we are busy through the roof with guys that'll come in. They'll put a football game on, whether it's a college game or NFL, and they'll stay in here for a 4-hour block, which is wild. So eating and drinking, and downstairs offers buckets of beer and lunch and dinner and breakfast and all of that. So you can come up here, you can eat in the bay, you can have a good time with your buddies, watch a football game, watch a basketball game, what have you, and kind of go from there. But that was the emphasis behind that. And then Callaway kind of partnered up with us for a fitting center. So we do a lot of fittings. They've given us some tools to be able to do that with our club repair and fitting room. We do gripping. We do all kinds of stuff. We have an indoor putting green, and then the bays themselves. So,
Nice.
And we tried to label everything with the.
Thanks for listening to the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience. Hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Northern Ohio Golf Club. We will see you next time on the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience.